Hey y'all, it's Cammie, a super fly girl from a little big world, also known as the 919. I know you're wondering, Cammie, what are we talking about? And just how did we get here? Well, let me tell you. Pen and Paper Podcast is bringing you all the feels of a little bit of everything for a whole lot of somebodies just like you. I'm bringing to you real conversations, transparency, and a whole lot of love. This is for my dreamers, believers, and for sure, my debaters. So let's dive in together as we touch on topics of family, friendships, relationships, both inward and out, come on, love, music, beauty, and did I mention finances? Oh yeah, we're taking it there. Pen and Paper Podcast is what I like to call your one podcast fits all. Yes. And I can't wait to explore with all of my ladies and my fellas to get just the right perspective and a whole lot of laughs, of course. So sit back, relax, and let's put this pen to the paper, y'all.
Welcome back, y'all, to episode 10 of Pen and Paper Podcast, y'all. And if you've made it this far, then you are at the right place at the right time. The men took over for the past few episodes, so ladies, this one is for you as we close out season 1. Yes. And I am elated to have such a wonderful woman to close out season 1 with me today by the name of Miss April Dozier. How are you, April?
Hi, how are you?
I'm awesome. If you've listened to episode Young, Safe, and Struggling, yes, this is the wife of Mr. Ryan Dozier, but this is not all of who she is. She is a mother, a friend, a woman of faith, a licensed esthetician, a professional makeup artist, and the CEO of Adorn Beauty LLC. Okay? So, April, I'm just excited to have you here. And I just want to jump right into the conversation. So I have a quote, and the quote says, "Beauty has a persuasive power of its own." And I want to just kind of jump into how you started your journey of becoming a makeup artist and, you know, your whole journey to coming here.
Well, first, I would like to say thank you for inviting me. It is an honor and a privilege to be in your presence.
Thank you.
I just want to say I have been playing in makeup ever since I was like 5 years old because my mom used to be a makeup artist in New York. Wow. She did it like part-time, and she sold like a makeup line called Fashion 220. You know, it's kind of like Mary Kay. And when we moved to North Carolina, and that's where I was born, she pretty much gave me all her makeup.
Wow.
And so I was a creative even before I was a creative. I'm putting eyeshadow on my forehead, on my cheeks. I'm just like going crazy over makeup, right? And so as I get older, I had no idea that I was going to be a makeup artist. So I would say when I was like 21 years old, I started just doing makeup for people for free. Just doing makeup for proms and weddings and all that good stuff. But it wasn't until 2007 that's when I decided to take it as a career. Wow. And go to school for aesthetics to get my esthetician license. And from there, I've just been doing makeup for some of everybody from brides to breast cancer awareness, which is a heartstring of mine, to proms, special occasion, birthday, you name it. I've been doing makeup for a little over 15 years now. Wow. So, and sometimes it just shocks me, like, I've been doing makeup for that long. Yes, I have.
I love it. And so I guess you would say that this is definitely a passion of yours.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So I mentioned in your intro about the Adorn Beauty LLC. So you got to tell the people, how was that birth? Because you've been doing it for 15 years. So you got to tell the people, how did you decide that you wanted to start your own business?
Well, it started from just the demand of people wanting to get their makeup done from me. And like I said, just starting out as a donation, just helping people out. But in the midst of doing makeup for people, it was always something that would enhance people on the inside out.
Wow.
And so from there, I was like, why don't I call it adorn? Because adorn means to add to your beauty.
Absolutely.
And from there, that's when it was birthed, because I was always doing makeup for people that had like breast cancer, or were coming out of breast cancer, the chemo. They just wanted to do something for themselves. And to this day, that is something that I donate for the month of October.
Wow.
It's not about you wearing the makeup. It's about how you feel before the makeup and after you put the makeup on.
Absolutely.
And through time, I've learned that it wasn't just about that. It was about what was on the inside. So that's where Adorn Beauty was birthed, because we're adding to your beauty. You already have the beauty. The beauty is just being enhanced by makeup products.
I love that.
Yeah.
So would you say that you kind of, do you have conversations with some of your clients to kind of get them to understand that confidence level of how does that process look when you're doing someone's face?
That is a conversation that we have all the time. Throughout the years of doing makeup with clients, I have always encountered some client that is broken, that feel like, oh, I need to put makeup on to just make myself look better, feel better. And, you know, I would have so many young girls that used to come and get their makeup done at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. I'm going to the club. I'm about to stun on them, you know.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. But it never fails that when they sit in my chair, it shifts.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, they're like, I don't feel like going to the club. I promise you. It was so weird. I don't feel like going to the club. I don't, you know. And it just turns into a whole different conversation, because their hurt comes out.
Wow.
You know, a lot of hairstylists say it all the time. We are unlicensed therapists.
Yes, absolutely.
And I have learned, as being a makeup artist, we do perform some type of therapy. Unlicensed, you know, we can't go but so far, but they just want us to be an ear.
Yes.
They really want us to be an ear. They just want to let it all out, release it all, and when they're done, that stuff is coming out of them.
Yes.
So when the makeup is on, it even looks different.
I love that.
You know, if that makes sense.
That does make sense, yeah.
Because a lot of people come and they get their makeup done, and the makeup is on them, right? And they're still broken, they're still bitter, they're still upset. But after they sit in that chair and they talk it out, the makeup is on and it looks different on them. Not because they have on makeup.
It's an internal thing.
Because they've internally been made up.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying it's like a overnight, you know, it's going to happen in 1 hour. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, especially for reoccurring clients, you know, you can tell a change in them. Like, okay, it's really not about makeup. It's about... one, yes, being pampered, but it's also about, you know, having good one-on-one conversations and just getting all of that negativity out of you. And once you're done being made up, it's a different kind of beauty that possesses you.
Yep.
It's a God kind of beauty.
Absolutely. I love that. And so we always hear, to kind of piggyback on, you know, just wanting something internal. So when the new year's coming up, we always hear new year, new me, right? So what are your opinions on the beauty standards that we have faced just this past year, you know, in 2021, of what you think the pressures were for women just this year? What do you think about that?
Just the pressure of this entire... A lot.
Yeah.
Let me just say that. It's been a lot. Even with the whole pandemic.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of women haven't been able to... Okay, let's start with the shutdown.
Yeah.
They couldn't get their hair done. They couldn't get their nails done. So they had to stay home.
Yeah.
You know, and when you're home, when you're locked down like that, so many things go through your mind. The pressure of life goes through your mind. Heaviness goes through your mind. And so fast forward up to now, you know, there is a lot of pressure in life.
Yeah.
You know, your job, school, what's next? What's the next future? What are the next steps? What are my finances going to be like in the future?
Right.
You know, so many things are tied into one. And how does beauty come into that? How does makeup come into that? Well, one, it can come through your skin.
Absolutely.
You know, when you're stressed out and you have too much on your mind, stress will cause you to break out.
Absolutely.
It'll cause you to break out. You know, it's a saying, drink water and mind your business.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
Well, that's the true thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know, if you drink your water and mind your business, I'm telling you, your skin will be so clear.
Yeah.
But seriously, mentally, your thoughts will be clear.
Yeah.
You know, so you try not to focus on the pressures of this world, but you focus on the things that matter most.
Absolutely.
And that is, what are the next goals for my life? What are the next steps for my life?
I love that. And so I guess when you think about makeup, you always there's always two folds to it, right? So you have the community of, we love makeup, we love the beauty standards, we don't mind, we can conform to them, and then you have the other half where it's just like, no, makeup is a cover up, it's clownish, it's this and that. So what do you think are the most common misconceptions about women who wear makeup? What do you think those misconceptions are?
Looking like a clown.
Yeah.
I have had so many clients email me, or they'll text me and say, well, can I talk to you before I book the appointment? Of course, you know, you can talk to me. I don't want to look like a clown.
Wow.
First of all, I'm not going to make you look like a clown. That's
right.
Not, you know, and this, I guess it's just a common thing, because they're fearful of what's going to be put on them. And a lot of people say that because of past trauma.
Wow.
You know, I've had someone to come to the studio with a bag of foundation, and she's a darker skin, beautiful brown skin. She comes, she says, I want to bring my foundation because the last few artists that did my makeup, they made me too light or they made me too dark.
Wow.
And I said, I reassure you that you will not look like that.
I love that.
So a lot of them do come with trauma.
Yeah.
You know, someone has done their makeup and they didn't like it and made them look like either a totally different person, or they did not match their foundation well because they are black, you know. So a lot of them, you know, come with that, and you have to walk them through it and have them to trust you that, look, your foundation is going to blend with your neck. I promise.
Oh, yeah, that's...
It is,
yeah.
And that foundation is going to blend down to your neck. We're not going to stop at the chin, you know. You're not going to have a pie face.
Yeah.
And then once they see it, they're like, oh, my gosh, my makeup really looks good. It looks like me.
Yeah.
But that client that said she didn't want to look like a clown, but yet she's like, but I want to look natural. But I want to look like I have on makeup. Mm-hmm. And so as an artist, you can't get frustrated and just say, well, just know it's going to look good. No, sometimes you have to hold their hand.
Absolutely.
And really walk them through that. Say, okay, it's going to appear natural, but you're going to have on makeup.
Yeah.
And it's going to enhance your beauty. You're not going to look over the top. It's going to be very clean. And then after they look at it, they were like, oh, my makeup really does look good.
Yeah.
It does look like me. And a lot of them say that. I look like myself. Yes.
Right. I love that. And I love that you as a makeup artist are reassuring them that you got it. Because in a sense, it's kind of like this transformation that you create, and not everybody can do it. So I love that you have it all figured out, and you're able to articulate that to your clients. So that's really awesome. So as we reflect, what are some ways in which you've brought your own power of beauty back to yourself? So, you as a makeup artist, you're giving to people, but in what ways have you had to do that for yourself?
At some point I had to go through a detox.
Wow. Okay.
Because I loved makeup so much that at one point I was wearing makeup every day. Until I got to the point where I realized, April, you feel like you have to be a different person when you wear makeup.
Okay.
And when that hit me, I said, okay, let me do a cleanse. Let me just not wear makeup for a while, because I don't want to be defined by how I look. I don't want to be defined by my lashes, my lipstick, my bronzer, because at one point in my life, as soon as I put that makeup on, voice is changing and everything. Hi, how are you? But when I realized that was not good, at some point I had to stop wearing the makeup, even though I was the makeup artist myself. And I'm like, this is pressure, because I'm doing everybody else's makeup and I'm not wearing any.
Right.
But it was something that God needed to do in me. He said, whether you wear the makeup or not, you have to be okay with who you are.
Absolutely.
And how I created you to be. So I had to get to that point. And it took a minute, because you're going through an identity issue. You're going through an identity issue. Like, wait a minute, I thought, okay, I didn't realize I was turning into a different person when I put makeup on.
Mm-hmm.
But when God had to do a work inside of me, when I put that makeup on, I didn't turn into a different April.
Right.
I was still April.
I love that.
I was still me. When I'm giving God praise at church, I'll tell everybody, I said, look, I'm not too cute to praise him. His lashes will come off. I will hand them to my husband. And I'll go forth in the praise, okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And I think for myself, I loved makeup for a long time, and I still do. And when I'm home, I'm like, there's no makeup involved because you want to just kind of feel free. But we know, like in the business world and things like that, it's good to be presentable. And I think it's good that we're having this conversation because a lot of women are like, I don't need makeup. I don't want to, but sometimes in some forms, it is good when you're going out in places and people are wanting to get to know you and meet you for professional purposes. You know what I mean? Right. So it's always good to have a good balance. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. So has there ever been a time in which you felt like you were being judged for wearing makeup and, being who you are in your field?
Yes.
Okay.
And it didn't last long because after a while they were asking me, where did you get that from?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
At first, yes, I was being judged. And I felt like I was being judged because I didn't realize at the time that I was a creative. So I didn't know that the same shimmer, loose eyeshadow that I put on my lips, I could put on my eyes.
Absolutely.
Or vice versa. I could put it on my cheeks. So I'm going out. It's still blended. It's looking pretty. But at some point, yes, I was being looked at, why is she wearing that on her eyes? Or why is she wearing it, on her lips like that? But then after a while, they start asking me, well, where did you get your lipstick from? How did you blend that eyeshadow like that? Because I can't blend mine like that. So yes, at some point I did get judged, but it did not last long at all.
And I love that because I think sometimes we as women, we're afraid to ask when it comes to creatives. You know what I'm saying? We're afraid to say, well, hey, where did you get this from? Or like you said, like, how did you blend it or whatever? But I think if we can come together as a community and kind of, sort of spread awareness about this, you know what I'm saying? It's not a bad thing. It's not bad to want to feel beautiful, whether you are natural, whether you want to wear makeup. I think it's good that we are creating a space for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to ask people, especially if you're not new to it. If you're saying, for instance, like, hey, like, what store do you shop at? I think it's good that we share that type of information because some people just don't know. They want to wear it, but they just don't know how to.
Don't know how to.
Yeah.
Or they are afraid to.
Yes.
Or from past times where they've tried to, they look like, quote unquote, a clown.
Absolutely.
So it's all about the experience that they've had in the beginning that causes them to react in the now.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is so true. So as many women struggle with seeing their true beauty, how has makeup assisted in your field, in your clients? How have you built that confidence with them seeing their true beauty?
So again, just through talking with them.
Absolutely.
Being transparent with them.
Absolutely.
Listen to them. Not just listen to respond, but really listen to their heart.
Yes.
Whether they're talking about their insecurities, get to the root of their insecurities. Help them get to the root of their insecurities. But once they, put that makeup on, it just makes them feel better.
Yes.
I do have clients that, some have gone through, like I said, breast cancer or some type of chemo or some type of sickness. And it does make them feel better.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that they don't like who they are. They don't like how they look. But it makes them feel better to have makeup put on them so they can walk and go somewhere, take pictures, go out to eat. Who don't like compliments?
Absolutely.
Everybody likes a good compliment every now and then. You do need to be confident enough for yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I know I'm beautiful, whether I'm wearing makeup or not, lashes or not. But when I walk out those doors and someone give me a compliment, you are going to say, oh, thank you. And, you might walk a little different.
Absolutely.
So it does boost your confidence in some type of way. It just makes you feel made up from head to toe, just like your hair.
Yes.
You get your hair done. You get your nails done.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to walk around with dry hair?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's really true.
So if we take care of our hair, why can't we take care of our face?
Yes.
And it doesn't necessarily have to start with the makeup. Just take care of your skin.
Yes.
Because if you take care of your skin, you don't have to wear a lot of makeup.
That's very true.
A little bit goes a long way.
That is very true. And so I want you to give us 3 essential ways to kind of build your confidence as we walk into the new year, because we know that, like you said, with the skincare and drinking your water. So give us 3 things that you can, that as a woman listening, to kind of build your confidence to kind of walk in that path of, you know, finding who you are in your, whether you want to continue to not wear makeup or you want to start that new journey.
Okay. So three ways to build your confidence up is to, 1, forgive yourself.
Absolutely. I love that.
Let's start with that.
I love that.
Forgive yourself, forgive people. Let's put that in one big bracket. Just forgive. And that's broad. When you forgive yourself, forgive people, ask God to forgive you. Start with that. Number 2, just start fresh.
Yes.
Just start fresh with everything. After you've forgiven yourself, move forward and start fresh with everything. No matter what it is, just start fresh. And thirdly, be you. Yes. Embrace who you are. Embrace the journey that you're in right now. This is your portion, nobody else's. Don't compare to anybody else. Don't compare to another female that may want to wear her makeup or want to, whatever journey she's on. Let her be on that.
Absolutely.
But be yourself. Be yourself.
I love that. And I agree with you on the be yourself, because a lot of times we know through social media, and we talked about it so much on this season, of how, we're always comparing. We're always looking to see, like, how can I be like someone else? But I think when it's an internal thing, like you mentioned, Miss April, once you know who you are, everything that you need to be and who God called you to be will sort of align in a way that you don't have to, it won't be forceful. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's something as simple as makeup, but it all makes sense in the end. So I love that. So some may want to begin makeup, like we've been mentioning. So how could you say is a good way to start off with, like, product types and discoloration, because we know people are going through that as well. So how do you kind of know what products to use? Because some people are like, well, I just want to start off with the drugstore type, or I want to, move to the Ulta or the Sephora type. So how would you say they should begin doing that?
I think, number 1, it should begin with knowing what type of skin you have.
Absolutely.
So start with, what type of skin do I have? Do I get oily at the end of the day? Am I really shiny? Am I really dry in the middle, like in the T-zone area, and I'm oily on my forehead? Am I dry all around at the end of the day? Are you oily? Do you have normal skin? Do you have combination skin? If you start with that, then you can determine, secondly, how to take care of your skin. Finding the right skin product, the right cleanser, the right moisturizer, the mask. You want to use those products that fit your skin type. So then at the end of the day, your skin is moist, it's glowy, it's not too dry, it's not too oily. And then when it flows into the makeup, that's how you determine what kind of foundation you use, because all foundation is not good foundation.
Absolutely.
So, and also budget-wise, if you want to start, budget-wise, beauty on the budget, start at going to the drugstore, because those products work just as good, especially Maybelline, L'Oreal. Those foundations are really good if you have oily skin. The 24-hour foundation is really good. No, you can't match yourself, but you can start at a department store like Ulta, Sephora, MAC counter, Estee Lauder counter. Ask them to match you. Once they match you, then you can go to the drugstore and find a duplicate.
Absolutely.
And, apply that yourself, and then just kind of build your way up. But start with something simple like foundation and concealer. Yes. Something real clean. You don't have to jump the gun and get highlight, contour, and
baby steps.
Baby steps. Give them baby steps.
Yes, I love that. So, Miss April, before we come to a close, please tell the people where they can find you and how they can reach you, and if they would like to book with you.
Absolutely. If you would like to book with me and look at some of my work, you can go to my website at www.dozier, www.adornbeautymua.com. You can also check out my Instagram at adornbeautymua.
Yes, I love it, y'all. So book with her, y'all. Y'all heard her. As we come to a close, I want to thank you for, sharing your piece for this new year. So if you could give the people a piece of advice to kind of walk into this new year, whether it's men maybe listening as well, but give the people a piece of advice for this new beauty and finding your own way.
Walk in with your peace.
Absolutely.
Walk in knowing who you are. And if you're not sure who you are, you have a wonderful journey ahead of figuring out who you are. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Just stay in that lane, that journey that you're on. And I promise you're going to walk into the confidence that you want and that you need.
Absolutely. I love that. And I like to give a piece of advice, y'all, as we are closing on season 1. I want you to just remember that beauty is skin deep. So we always are looking for this external thing. But once you, like you said, Miss April, know who you are, there's a avenue of things and places where you can go. So just remain true to yourself and everything will work out, y'all. Yes. So thank y'all for being here on season 1. And y'all, we just have so much to look forward to. If you haven't, please catch up on all the episodes because season 2 will be back in January, y'all. You already know we are giving a little bit of everything for a whole lot of somebody. So y'all got to stay tuned. All right, y'all, we're out.